I'm so nervous. I'm live. We are live. What's up, everybody? How is the American dystopian community? Welcome to the JRLite podcast, where we are half as funny, but we are 10 times as broke. Somebody is first. Let's just show somebody up here. There we go. Somebody is first. We just had to call that out because we love the people who watch our channel, and it's pretty awesome. So we're actually waiting on. Let me get my little screen over here. We're waiting on our get. Oh, never mind. You know what? We'll just go ahead and add this beautiful beard to the stream. Let me see if I can find him here. You are. What's up, dude?
What's going on, brother?
Oh, not much, man. Trying to stay away from the Ronnie and get this camera right.
Yeah, so I hear that.
We can look spectacular to all of our fans out there.
Absolutely.
So, how was your day today, man? What's up?
Honestly, it's been super rainy. It's been super rainy and dreary over here. And then we're supposed to maybe have snow tomorrow, which snow in the middle of May. What the hell?
Isn't that crazy? And it's the same here. Now, where are you at exactly? I forgot.
Connecticut. I'm in Connecticut.
Connecticut, that's right. You're a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. Yeah, man. And I'm in here in Vermont, dude. And it's the same way. It's supposedly we're supposed to get this polar vortex or something.
Mm-hmm.
That is nuts, man. It's supposed to be warming up. It's like 80 degrees in North Carolina.
Right.
Like, what?
Yeah, Kansas City. I think it's been like in the 80s and stuff like that. So it's I thought I was in the clear with the snow. I can't stand the snow. The cold weather I can do it. The cold I can do. I just hate snow. It's inconvenient. Hate it.
Now, I don't understand that because you got that big ass beard to keep you warm. I mean, you should be warm all the time.
Yeah, it's true. You make a good point. So, Yang and
look, we put this thing out on Twitter. Right? It was a picture of Mama Yang Gang, and it was she got bored and she made her like a unibrow makeup. And she put it on Twitter, and we are live. There are people watching right now. So why don't you come and show everybody your unibrow?
Oh my gosh, whatever. I'm keeping this hat on forever. So I'll tell you a story. How about women will understand this when you're doing your eyeliner. And you do a little bit too much on one side, so you go to the other side, and then you just keep adding on to try to make it even.
Right.
Well, I did that with my eyebrows.
And eventually they touched.
So
you know what the crazy thing is? It doesn't even smoke. Like, I would expect that out of me, but like out of her, it's crazy.
The beauty channels would be proud right now. Jeffree Star would be proud. Oh man, that's funny. That's funny.
All right, I'm getting out of here.
All right. So, man, there's a lot of stuff in the news right now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, we were talking, I mentioned like trying to stay away from the Rona.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard like Elon was talking about on the Joe Rogan podcast. He was talking about that they were talking about that the average death age for somebody due to the CV is actually higher than the average death rate overall. How crazy is that?
Yeah, it's pretty insane. And there, like, people were saying like, oh, it's a 0 point whatever % chance that you're going to catch the coronavirus and die. And I saw a pretty good analogy. It was like, if I gave you 100 Skittles and I said 3 of them could potentially kill you, are you going to take the chance and eat the Skittles? I don't think so. So even though it's a small percentage, it still should be taken pretty serious. I actually know 3 people that have passed away because of it, and they were in their 40s.
Yeah, it for sure sucks, man. I mean, I'm just kind of trying to weigh that, against, obviously you're going to have to take precautions, and obviously you're going to have to, do all these things. But isn't that what we always do whenever we encounter something new? We just kind of adapt, because it's really, like, how is it any different from everything I face every day out in city? Some people are going to win, some people are going to lose, and it sucks because we're talking about human lives.
Mm-hmm.
We do that with anything else. We don't do that with, the flu. We don't do that with with AIDS anymore. We just kind of adapt every time something new comes around. And I kind of feel like that's what we're going to do now. It's going to be, man, it's going to get ugly out there really fast.
Yeah, it's so new. Eventually we will adapt, because I don't think coronavirus itself, or this strand of it, COVID-19, is going away anytime soon. So we're going to have to adapt to it. And I'm all for states opening back up slowly but surely. You just got to follow the rules that the states abide by. That's my big issue, is that states are opening up, and then people don't, they're like, oh, we'll open up as long as you can maintain these rules. But then the people can't even follow those rules. And I'm like, well, what do you want? Do you want the states to open back up, or do you want to be on quarantine? I assume you want to open back up and get back to work. So just follow these tiny, minuscule rules. That's all I ask. Like the 10-10-10 rule, no more than 10 people in a establishment at a time. And, some places have mandatory masks. Like, some security guard got killed because he asked the lady to wear a mask. So she left and came back with her husband, and he shot him in the head. That's crazy. Come on, if we're gonna adapt, which I'm for,
shit, man.
Yeah. If we're gonna adapt, fine, let's adapt. I'm all for that, but we just gotta play by some semblance of rules so we can adapt to it. We just can't. Some people want to just go tomorrow like this thing never happened, and that's just not possible.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, oh my gosh, but then you have places that are it's almost like that have gone the exact extreme opposite of that, and they're like, okay, I mean, if you're a person on a beach that's fishing by yourself, you're getting thrown in jail, or the lady who was trying to open up her nail salon, and it's just like, it's almost like government overreach. It's tyranny, man. You can't put any other word on it. This is America, and you can't do that kind of shit. You can't tell me that I can't be out, and I see both sides of it. I see you should be responsible, and you should have distance between you and somebody else. And no, you shouldn't probably crowd the beaches. But these same places are letting criminals go. They're letting criminals go, convicted criminals, letting them go because of fears of the coronavirus, and then they're throwing innocent fucking people in jail. How is that right?
Yeah, I don't think anybody should be jailed in the coronavirus instances. If you want to break it up and tell people to move along their way, like, come on, you guys know better, that's fine. But I don't think anybody should be going to jail for a non-violent offense. That is overreach, in my opinion. And like the lady with the nail salon, literally nail salons the next day and barbershops were allowed to open. So that was pointless to even arrest her like that. It was absolutely pointless. Literally the next day, stuff opened back up.
I don't know, man. I kind of see, like, I understand, the dynamic that's in play, and there has to be, safety. I don't know. It seems like there's just confusion from like the top down. It's not just it's every place and everybody who's in a position of power. Like, okay, we don't know what this thing is. What do you believe? And everybody's believing something different.
Mm-hmm.
You've got some people out there who thinks it's an absolute hoax, which I think is ridiculous, but
right.
That's what they think. And then you have people who think that it's going to, it's worse than the fucking bubonic plague and we're all going to die and this is the apocalypse. But it shows you just how much that, how ill prepared we are for this thing, man. We're not prepared, dude. It's crazy.
In every way. And I blame a lot of it on the government, because they could have made this a lot easier on people if they were doing what they were supposed to, and people wouldn't be going to some of the extremes that they are. I mean, if they would have set in place a UBI, did a rent freeze, did a utility freeze for 4 months, told everybody, hey, chill out, let us figure this out. We're going to send you this money every month and you'll be good. I think a lot of people would have been okay with that. But instead, they've done now going on 5 stimulus bills. Number 5 is coming up, and they sent people a payment once. So people are saying, fuck it, I'll take the risk of going and interacting with the virus. I can't afford to not. So a lot of this is the government's fault, in my opinion.
It's a shame because that just speaks to it right there, though, that it's the broke folk vote really who lose in this whole situation, man. Mm-hmm. Because we're sitting here looking at it and okay, well, guess what? The rent's still fucking due, man.
Yep.
It's still due.
Yep.
I still got bills to pay. Mm-hmm. Now I've got to balance this. I can't even take the time out to make sure that we're going to be safe. This is what's so nuts about it is they're forcing people to get back out to work because people are fast running out of options, yep. Right? Mm-hmm. And people are going to rush. And then you have situations like mine where like my son, I have to be careful because, he's immunocompromised. Yep. And, so this is like very real for somebody like me. Mm-hmm. And then you've got states like Ohio who are telling the companies that all you got to do is report your workers who aren't coming back to work, and we can cut off their unemployment because they're refusing to work. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about, what if I was in that? Thank God I'm not. Thank God I'm not. And I don't have to be in that situation.
Yep.
Because of the wonderful people who support this channel. And, but I see, what if somebody was in my situation? And now all of a sudden their unemployment is going to be cut off. Mm-hmm. They can't afford not to go back to work because now they have to. They're forced to.
Yep.
So they're endangering a family member of their own. I mean, that's just crazy, man.
Yeah. The states that open back up, if it opens back up and you refuse to go to work, they're still cutting you off of unemployment and unemployment benefits. So they're pretty much forcing you back to go into, the workforce. And then they're trying to pass that liability bill, that liability clause, meaning if you do go back to work and you get sick because you went back to work, the companies aren't liable for it either. You're pretty much flat on your face. Mitch McConnell says he won't put anything in the next bill unless that liability clause is in there. So you can't even, sue your employer or sue anybody for that matter from being forced to go back to work. And you're sick, laid up in bed somewhere in a hospital. It's crazy. And I call them the Johnny Everybody's and the Susan Know Nothings. They don't know that. The everyday, average person doesn't know that. Somebody hit me up in my inbox and they were complaining about, that they've only done one bill. And I said, no, they've done 4. They're about to do 5. And she was like, how? I've only got paid one time. I'm like, yeah, they only paid you once, but they're on number 5. And they count on people not knowing these things. They count on it.
Yeah, but the problem is, man, okay, people were hurting before in this country. I know because one of them, and am one of them. And, you know, we, as the broke folk vote, you know, somebody put in the chat that you only, you know, a revolution is only 3 meals away. KJ Nightbird put that in the chat. And that is so true, because now you got okay, you remember, and Andrew talks about in his book, you know, where a mindset of scarcity, right? It moves you one standard deviation on the scale, mental wise. And you wonder why we got people blowing people's heads off because over masks.
Over a mask.
What? Because we got, man, it's crazy out there, and it is only going to get worse, bro.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you why. Because all these companies, you know, they're not going to hire all these people back at one time. It's going to have to be done in stages. So there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be left behind. And man, I'm telling you, shit's about to get crazy in this country in certain areas.
For my company that I work for, we had a conference call recently, and pretty much they trim the fat doesn't even describe it. They let go of so many people. It's ridiculous. They let go of so many people and then made the people that they kept have even more of a workload to do. Of course, the pay doesn't increase. And man, when we do open back up and go to work, it's going to be crazy. And they're not going to hire anybody. Like, even my staff, a lot of my staff has been cut, and you know, there is no set time as to when you can start rebuilding that staff. And then a lot of small businesses, I think Yang tweeted this out, they're not going to reopen. A lot of places aren't going to reopen, period. So what are people going to do? I don't know. What are people going to do? We're almost at Great Depression unemployment numbers. 25% unemployment. That's almost Great Depression numbers.
It's nuts, man. You got, listen, you know, one thing, you know, if you've ever been locked up before, and I have, I'm not ashamed to admit it, it's happened. Mm-hmm. Everybody's has got a hustle. You know, everybody's got a side hustle. And it's the same way in the street. Everybody's got a hustle. If you're part of the broke folk vote, you've got a hustle of some kind. Either where you're trying to get off, where you're trying to get ahead, where you're trying to make the bills. You know, I feel like that is just, it's all going to go away, because like nobody's going to have any kind of money, and the people are going to get desperate really, really quick if there's not help. Now, I know that they're talking about in a couple of days, they're supposed to be, it's the CARES Act 2. Mm-hmm. And it's the next big bill, and it's supposed to like sweep everything up, you know, that they want in there. Mm-hmm. And Nancy Pelosi is going to be pushing pretty hard. There's a lot of Democrats that are starting to push for this, you know, at least a temporary, speak, universal basic income, and the one with the most support is that $2,000 a month. Mm-hmm. And you know, Republicans, say what you want, man. It's so aggravating because I come from the Republican side.
Right.
And I'm looking at this bill that the Democrats are putting forward, and I'm like, man, it makes sense. They should have done this from the start.
Thank you. They should have did it
and
from
stop with all the dumb shit. They should.
Yes, they should have did it from the start. Thank you.
Right. And then, you know, and now that it's become a partisan issue, they just want to argue about it. Now that's a Democrat idea. They just want handouts now. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, man,
we're in the middle of a
pandemic. So aggravating.
We're in the middle of a pandemic and we want handouts. I covered twice so far on my channel, Stuart Varney from Fox News, literally shitting on UBI. He called it a scheme. We're scheming to get UBI through the back door. We're using this pandemic to get UBI implemented. So we're scheming to survive, is what you're telling us? All we want is to survive. We didn't ask for this pandemic. We didn't go out and make this pandemic ourselves. We got swept up in it. And so we're asking for a fighting chance. And Fox News, not all of Fox News, but most of Fox News, is saying it's a scheme, and now they're running with it's a partisan issue. The Democrats are doing this, the Democrats are doing that. No, this is what the people need. This is what the people need, and they're trying to. Part of why they want us to go back to work so badly is because they don't want to give us that $2,000 a month, because they don't want to do anything to help us. Quite honestly, they want to send us back out and act like nothing happened and hold on to their money. They spent $5 trillion. They spent $5 trillion. Where did that money go? We got 1,200 of it. Where did the rest of that money go? To Boeing and places like that. Man, if they don't do a UBI this bill, if they don't do a UBI, listen, this is why I can't fuck with the corporate Dems, and this is why I can't fuck with most Republicans, because what the hell? This isn't a red versus blue issue. The pandemic is the time to set that aside and fix this shit. And then once it's fixed, you guys can start playing your games again. Playing with people's lives.
No, man, no. You don't understand. It is a red-blue issue. Now you need to pull yourself up by your beard straps and fucking get to work, man. That's just all there is to it.
Work isn't open. Work is closed. They got to help people out. They got to help
crazy,
people out.
Man. I don't know. You know what? You know what a good thing is, though, and I know that, and me and my wife have discussed this, and we've argued about it. And but sports is coming back, man. Yes. I can't wait until tomorrow night, bruh. The UFC 249 is going to be off the chain. Oh my god!
It's going to be people.
Do you follow MMA?
I haven't. I stopped following it after Matt Hughes stopped fighting. But like if it's a big pay-per-view kind of thing, I'll tune into it with my brother or something like that. But I don't really follow it as hard as I used to when Rashad Evans and stuff like that was in it. I don't know. It's came and went for me. Same with like wrestling. There was a time like I was super into it, and now it's doesn't do it for me anymore. But my question to you is it going to be people in the stadium, or is it an empty stadium?
No, it's going to be a completely empty stadium as far as like fans and stuff. Okay. I know that the commentators are going to have to sit at opposite ends of like the octagon.
Right.
You know, so it's gonna be really crazy and a weird dynamic to see how that goes down. Mm-hmm. But man, I mean, I understand like Matt Hughes was a beast, but come on, bro. It like came and went for me too. But like now I'm back all on it hardcore. Like, man, there's some really great fighters. That card tomorrow night, dude. It's going to be man, it's an amazing card. Yeah, I can't wait for it. And have you not heard of a dude named Conor McGregor, man? Come on, dude.
I dig Conor McGregor. I mean, listen, I didn't enjoy him in his other role. Well, was it WWE? I didn't really enjoy him over there. So when he went to MMA, I wasn't like let me follow him.
Somebody else. Conor McGregor is he's the one that fought the boxer. What's his name? Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah. Okay. What? Who was I thinking of? That was an MMA. That was in a WWE wrestler.
I think you're thinking of like Lesnar.
No, not Brock Lesnar. He didn't do that well either. I think it was like a couple wins, a couple losses. Oh my God, what's his name?
Talking about CM Punk.
CM Punk. That's what I was talking about. Man,
CM Punk is a ham, man. Get out of here. That dude,
he's a ham.
What?
He's a ham. It was like such a big thing. Oh,
look, man,
over there.
Yeah, he's whack. But there's so many like great fighters that are in the UFC now, and they've got this whole farm league that they basically just keep bringing. These dudes are animals, man.
They're monsters. Oh yeah, they're the top of the game as far as I don't know if you want to call it sports entertainment, but as far as sports go, because these dudes are really going at it for real. They're literally in there beating each other's ass. The utmost respect for them. For sure.
And now you got Dana White. He's talking about getting this. He's talking about buying an island and having the fights out on this fucking island, dude. I can see this going down like the blood sport way.
Yeah,
It's like Octagon during the day, but this motherfucking Kumite at night.
That's a movie right there. You're fucking gonna buy an island and have all these people fight it out on an island. I'd go watch that movie. Dana, but then think of
look, we were talking like I don't know how old you are, but I'm 44, and like Bloodsport was a huge movie for me when I was younger. That movie was one of the best fighting movies of the 80s.
Van Damme.
I think it was the 80s or 90s, maybe it was the 90s. Yeah.
Yep, Van Damme.
Great movie, man.
Yeah, Bloodsport. I remember watching that when I was younger. It was a good movie. Definitely.
Okay, so you said no. Obviously, well, I mean, wrestling is what it is, and it'll always be what it is. But then you have MMA, so you're not into MMA. You into football? No sports or what?
Football. That's the only one that really holds my. Again, I still enjoy MMA. I just don't, go out of my way. I watch the pay-per-views if my brother's gonna watch it, but that's about it. Yeah, football holds my attention. Even basketball doesn't hold my attention like that anymore. I saw somebody say golf in the comments. But yeah, football. I'm a football fan. I dig football.
That's something I don't know how anybody watches is golf. I mean, that is so slow and boring to me.
It's an incredibly.
I just can't do it, man. I love football.
It's a rich man sport.
Yeah, golf, the NFL. It's not. I guess it's just a skilled person's sport. I just have never had the skill to play golf.
Right.
I've tried. I just can't hit that. Every time I hit that ball, it feels like I'm hitting cast iron. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh man, I've played golf before, and I'm not very good at it. So, not my forte.
Yeah, me either.
Speaking of wrestling,
I can't wait for football. It's gonna suck, man, because like I love like the Panthers. I'm a diehard Panthers fan, but not being able to hear the crowd. The crowd is one of the things that makes football just so electric. You know, it's nuts. And here's a hot stock take for you. I don't know if you even follow the stock market any. But under the radar the other day, DraftKings went public, right?
Really? Okay.
And it went public for like, I don't know, like maybe like around $20 a share.
Mm-hmm.
And think about that for a second, right? Middle of the pandemic, nobody's really paying attention to sports. DraftKings goes public in the middle of all this craziness going on. Nobody's talking about it. There ain't no sports going on. But all of a sudden, just like tomorrow night, there's going to be UFC 249.
Yep.
Well, all these sports are going to be coming back around. And once they do, what's going to start happening? Sports gambling online. It is so freaking huge. I think DraftKings stocks are going to go through the roof. Don't take that advice if you don't do stocks or you don't even look at stocks, but whatever. I'm saying it here. I bought a few shares of it. I spent a little bit of that stimulus money to buy a few shares of DraftKings because I really think it's going to do something really good. Yeah,
that the sports gambling's huge. I know I don't want to say too much, obviously, but I know people that do that, and a lot of money passes through hands, man. That sports gambling is no joke. No joke.
Because look, it's like even broke motherfuckers like me will still, they'll deposit $10 on DraftKings and play the little dollar things, hoping to hit $5,000. It's just like buying a lottery ticket, except
exactly.
You actually have a little bit of control over winning and losing.
The chances are better in DraftKings.
Fuck it.
Speaking of,
it's great because I log into my DraftKings account, even though I only have like $1 in my account. I still log in every day to get my rewards. And it's so cool because whenever I log in, I'm like, you know what? I own a little piece of this company. That's great.
that is a good feeling. How do you feel about Yang and Pete?
Go ahead.
How do you feel about that Yang and Pete interview?
Oh. Well, I'm just gonna look. If you look on your screen, I actually had that as one of my banners, as one of the topics to talk about.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
I did a video on it.
First of all, it was nauseating, really, to hear Pete Buttigieg even talk. I can't stand him, man. He's so fucking fake.
He's so
fake, man.
He's such a robot. He's such a robot. I was so conflicted, man. I was so conflicted.
Have you ever watched that show? You ever watch that show, Designated Survivor?
No, I've never heard of it, actually.
Oh, my gosh. That's one you got to take in, man. It is great. And Pete Buttigieg is in it. Only his character's name is Peter McLeod. And he's like this guy that's like... He's like the perfectly groomed candidate, you know. I mean, just everything, all the mechanics, all the letters are crossed and the I's are dotted, you know. It's crazy. And that's how I see Pete Buttigieg. I see him as type.
Yeah, listen, I don't trust him. He's a robot. Like with someone like a Yang, you get authenticity. You see him for what he is. And you know what you're getting. With Pete, it was like, are you a clone? Are you a robot? Everything was just so fake. And I still remember when him and Kamala laughed at Yang. I'll never forget that because I uploaded a video on that. And I was, well, that's original. And now all of a sudden you're here and you want to be best buds with Andrew Yang. And I had tweeted out, and I did the video uploaded on my channel today. Do you think Pete is taking this opportunity because he sees the coalition that Yang has and how much Yang has progressed in every aspect since leaving, since dropping out? Like, he is the future of politics. I think it's pretty undeniable at this point. So is Pete just taking advantage of that? And he wants a little piece of that pie? Or what?
I don't know, man.
Like, come on. If Yang wasn't doing as great as he's doing right now, if Yang wasn't doing as great as he's doing right now, if he wasn't shining as bright as he's shining right now, would Pete Buttigieg be like, hey, let's do a interview on live together?
Yeah, but how painful was it to actually watch? It was painful to watch because, like, it was two different universes, like, in the same room, you know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like Andrew, and this is what was so crazy. One of the things that I found nuts about the whole thing, right? So Pete actually asked the question, "Hey, Andrew, have you read any books lately?" You know. And Andrew's like, yeah, he picks up like 4. He's got like books that he's just like tossing into the air that he's read lately. This podcast, right? And then Pete Buttigieg is sitting there and he's looking crazy. And he's like, well, you know, there was that one that I started. I haven't quite finished it yet. That, you know, I was reading it on the campaign trail. And it's a really good book. And it gets into this and this. And then he said, I'm about halfway through this book that I'm reading now. And it's all about this and this and this. And I'm like, Andrew just told you he just read like 18,000 books, and you just said that you read like Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes.
That shit is crazy, man. But it shows you, you know, like what the hell? Okay, you're Pete Buttigieg. You're sitting at home too, just like everybody else is. What the hell are you doing? You know, I don't know.
What has he done?
What are you doing with your time?
What has he done since leaving the campaign trail for people. What has he done? He's been stagnant. Meanwhile, Yang's like, all right, this run is over. Let me continuously keep helping people. It's like he hasn't even ended his campaign. He's still helping people till this day. He's never stagnant. He's always doing something. When there's a day and I'm like, yo, I don't know if I feel like recording. I'm tired today. I'll look on Twitter. Yang's like, oh yeah, and I just did this, and I'm doing this, and this is the next thing. All Americans, this, Humanity Forward, this. And I'm like, nah, I can't stay fucking stagnant. This dude's not staying stagnant. And he's got kids running around to look after. No, can't be stagnant. Let's do this. Dude's one of the hardest workers. He saved Bernie Sanders. He single-handedly saved Bernie Sanders. Bernie's like, oh, I don't think this is a good idea. Canceling the New York primary. Yang's like, hold my beer. Sues, fixes it. Even the Bernie bro left-wing channels are like, yo, we got to give it up to Yang, yo. What the fuck? Like, this dude, Pete, the fact that Pete even thinks that he's on the same scale as an Andrew Yang is astounding. Dude's done nothing. I haven't seen him do one thing. There are YouTube celebrities. I named Jeffree Star, Mr. Beast, Ethan from the H3 podcast that have done more for people during this pandemic than a Pete Buttigieg. I want nothing to do with the dude. Man. Nothing. I want nothing to do with him. Yeah, Serpent.
And it's that's something, that's somebody that I actually wanted to bring up, that when you were talking, is Kyle Kalinske. And I come from the Republican conservative side.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first let's say joined the Yang gang, right? And I started feeling out these Democratic waters over here. And, Kyle Kalinske was one of the people I clicked on just to see what, I kind of already knew what the viewpoint was, and I knew how diametrically opposed it was to a lot of my views or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I did it anyway because I wanted to know, and I wanted to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took in his show, and I was just like, oh, I can't, man. I can't, this dude. And it's weird because it's, at least I guess my evolution too, is I kept, I stayed subscribed. So his videos always come up in my subscription feed and stuff. And as I've grown, I've also seen him grow.
Yes.
And I've seen him go from somebody who really reminded me of this self-entitled douchebag, mm-hmm. to somebody who's actually now, he's like, you know what, man, we really got to help the people, bro. We got to help the people. And calling out these rich motherfuckers who are up there doing what they do.
Kyle Kalinske Yang's always been similar to me. Yang's always been in his top 3. The order is different for him and I. Obviously, Yang was my number 1, Sanders was my number 2, and Tulsi was my number 3. Obviously, Sanders was his number 1, etc. But he's always gone to bat for Andrew Yang. They've had disagreements. They didn't agree on Medicare for all, right? But he agreed on UBI was better than a federal jobs guarantee. He's actually mostly agreed with Yang's policies over Bernie's. If you really look at it, Yang was saying, legalize, almost all drugs. Bernie Sanders is like, only marijuana. I'm not on board with the rest of it. Kyle Kalinske was like, no, Yang's to the left of you on this one. He's right, you're wrong. And even to this day, and I think Serpent just said it in the comments section, he is praising Andrew Yang. And hear me now, quote me later. 2024, I guarantee you the person that Kyle Kalinske is going to go and vote for is going to be Andrew Yang. he has. We've all evolved. When you and I first spoke, what was I? I was a Bernie supporter. Now I'm a Yang supporter. We've all evolved in some way, shape, or form. That's why I like to chew the meat and spit out the bones and hear what other people are saying. That's why I'll go and listen to a Ben Shapiro, even though 9 times out of 10 I know I'm going to disagree. That's why I'll go and listen to a Tucker Carlson, because 9 times out of 10 I know I'll disagree, but I just might learn something, and every so often it does happen. So I respect you a lot for still saying subscribe and listening to Kyle, even though you vehemently disagreed with him at the time. I dig that.
Well, I mean, it's so weird because most of us are just right there in the middle, you know. You come to find out, especially in the most trying of times, just how much we're all really alike. You know, it's really nuts how it changes your perspective, you know, and like the pandemic hasn't really changed my perspective. My perspective was this way before the pandemic. You know, we need to put aside all the bullshit because, I just want to, let's just do better for each other. Okay. Yep. This is all we got, and we are all we got. And we need to try to help everybody in our immediate environments, because what's going on is this disparity is just growing and growing between the have-nots, and the broke is just getting more broke. And it doesn't matter what religious part of the spectrum you're on. It doesn't matter what color part of the spectrum you're on. It doesn't matter what political part of the spectrum you're on. The broke folk is the broke folk. And that's, it's so frustrating to see how those people who are in power and who have been in power for so long, how they deliberately try to keep us divided as a society, because as long as we go into our little boxes and we stay there in those little boxes, they keep us divided and we're done. We don't have the power and the strength to fight against them. But then something like this pandemic comes along, and all of a sudden we realize that we're really on the same fucking side.
Yeah. We've been on the side on the same side the whole time, and it's crazy that it takes something like this for us to see that. Another question I had for you, I don't know if you saw the video I uploaded, but YouTube has, and you and I'm not going to get into details, but you and I were talking about channel growth and what we're going to do with our channels and stuff like that. But YouTube has now even more so put their foot on the necks of channels like yours and mine, and now they're giving more power to authoritative channels like CNN and Fox. So if I go watch a grassroots Yang Gang video, immediately after, what it used to be was something related to a grassroots Yang Gang video, and that's how you get caught up in that wormhole of watching all your videos. Like, I just watched 7 of Russell videos back to back. Now they're gonna loop you to a CNN, or they're gonna loop you to an MSNBC or something like that. And I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy how they see the rise of new media, and they're willing to step. And YouTube just came out and said it. Like, it's not even like a conspiracy. They sent a letter out. They just said it. So crazy. If they've
and that does it sucks, because when I first started going, I went down a lot of rabbit holes, because I've always been someone who, I'm pursuing the truth. I don't care how ugly it is, I'm after the truth, right?
Yep.
And a lot of the truth that was out there is actually uploaded to YouTube, because the regular news media outlets wouldn't cover certain issues, wouldn't talk about certain things, because they're all getting paid. Mm-hmm. They ain't trying to rock the boat. Nope. But there's a lot of shit that's going on, and we all know it's going on, and we're trying to understand the mechanics, and we want to take the red pill.
Yep.
And so we start going down rabbit holes on YouTube, and we start gathering all this information, and people can say what they want to about people like Alex Jones, and yes, he's crazy, and yes, he's a shill now. But
He's
you know,
my
when he
neighbor.
first started, he was after the truth too.
He's my neighbor.
That's nuts. I mean, he will eat you. He will eat you. He just came out and said that he will eat his neighbor. But you might better watch it. He was the Jeffrey Dahmer on your ass.
Alex Jones. I still don't think he should be deplatformed. I think that was overreaching. I don't think he should be deplatformed. I mean, it's up to us to differentiate between if he's spouting conspiracy theories or if he means what he's saying, if what he's saying is factual,
or if he's spouting conspiracy truth. Because there's a lot of those conspiracy theories that have come out that we found out that they were actually fucking true. And the government has said that they were true. Mm-hmm. So it's not, our government is not innocent. They've done a bunch of horrible, horrible shit. And so when, you have to come to alternate media in order to help put these pieces together, right? But it's just like you were saying, now YouTube has done this whole thing where like you can't even go down the rabbit hole anymore because the rabbit hole consists of all the fucking talking voices and the Ministry of Truth. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, the Ministry of
1984.
Yeah, it's so they're literally trying to suppress us. What's up, James Abrams? Dude's a good dude. James Abrams.
He is a super good dude. Like the other day when we were on here and we were doing a live stream, this dude was an absolute super chat rock star, and we appreciate it so much, for sure. And I'm trying to get up here to the damn comment so that we can highlight it. There we go. It's coming through now. Sometimes the stream, man, it goes a little bit slow. He said, "What up, gang? How's everybody doing? And read my lips. You're the last Yang Gang I stream. Just started commenting like a few weeks ago. And yeah, I also watched The Hill, Rising, and Kyle. And they tell both sides took a while to like Kyle. Yeah, no shit. It took me a while to like Kyle Kalinske too. But you mentioned The Hill. The Hill is the one outlet, man, who I really feel like comes at it from the right perspective. I think they're on point.
You've got a hard-hitting lefty in Crystal Ball, and the Cigar, he's a Republican. He calls himself a centrist. So, and then they give them both equal talking time. And usually they meet in the middle, and you get to see and hear both sides of the story. I think actually Cigar is like really tight with Tucker Carlson. So I definitely like The Hill Rising. And then Crystal Ball, didn't she just do something with Yang on Yang Speaks? Did they just do a talk or something like that? I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, they just did the Yang Speaks podcast, and that's what was really one of the things that was so hilarious, right? When they were talking about the books. And Andrew Yang held up Crystal and Sager's book, and because he just Crystal Ball on there and talked about how he had to read the whole book, so because he owed that to people, right? Well, in that book, Crystal and Sager take a lot of shots at Pete Buttigieg. So I kind of think that was Andrew's way of playing 5D chess. And fucking just like rubbing it in Booty's face, like motherfucker.
Yeah, Pete, man, Pete, and that whole he fell in line so well. Actually, from what I understand, and this is all hearsay, I guess you could say, but from what I understand, when Obama made those calls for like Amy to drop out, for Pete to drop out, Pete gave like a little bit of pushback, like he didn't want to drop out. He was like, I don't know about that. And Obama's like, this is the most time you'll ever have the most leverage right now. So you should just drop out because you'll have the most leverage. And so Pete dropped out. But I honestly think he's going to try to run again in 2024. I think Warren's going to try again, and I think Pete's going to try again, if I'm being completely honest. Like Yang's going to have to plow through.
That's because Pete Buttigieg is Peter McLeish of Designated Survivor, and he is groomed to be the Manchurian Candidate. And he's actually a fucking Russian agent and he's been planted here to take over our government. I can't stand Pete Buttigieg, man. So let's not start any conspiracy theories here on this channel, but I'm just saying, you're probably right. And I think it's going to be too late for Bernie. I don't think Bernie is of an age now where I think this was his last hurrah.
I agree.
I don't feel like he's going to be running the next time, whether or not he's in any kind of health too, you know. I mean, you got to think, man, these dudes are on up there in age right now.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, just you see Biden, and I'm just looking at this like, I understand Andrew is just all like, you got to support the Democratic candidate and this, that, and the other. And because he has to take that line, right?
Right. Yep.
But he's never once asked his people, the Yang Gang, to take that line. Never once. And that's something that I really respect about Andrew. I don't think the Democrats can win. They can't. Okay, let's say I do tune into your channel, believe it or not. And you were talking about the whole Tara Reid thing.
Yep.
This Tara Reid thing is going to blow up in Biden's face. And it's going to be ugly. And now, even more to go along with that, right? So he's facing down this whole Tara Reid thing, which they're just now starting to talk about.
He's now
living in his basement, coming out of there, basically trying to podcasts and stuff. These crazy things. I mean, his decline is awful. And now something that just hit the wire like yesterday, right? The Department of Justice is dropping all the charges against General Flynn. Now, the people who were involved in that trial against General Flynn was the people in the Obama administration, which one of those people is Joe Biden. So if they start getting warrants to investigate these people, I'm telling you, man, there's going to be who do you think the Democratic Party is going to put forward? Because they can't put Biden forward, obviously, right? Because that's a done deal.
You know, normally you would think the person that was number 2, which would be Sanders, but they hate Sanders so much that I feel like they do everything in their power to not push him, you know, to be a number 2. They actually hate him more than Donald Trump. They actually fought harder against Sanders than they do against Trump, if you really look at it. I mean, a Yang could unsuspend his campaign. I know that's everybody's dream. I don't know if he would. But listen, as far as like with the Biden support goes, some of the things people were saying, this is hilarious, because Tara Reid came out and said, you know, I'm willing to take a polygraph test, whether you believe in polys or not. I'm willing to take a polygraph test and I'm willing to be cross-examined. I just want him to do the same, right? And so people were saying, well, that's not fair to Biden because he has cognitive decline and he has dementia. It's not fair to have him take a polygraph test. I said, whoa, wait. So this man is too feeble, not able to take a polygraph, but he's able to run the country. So these people are saying, oh yeah, he's fine to run the country, but no, we can't have him take a polygraph. Come on, man. The mental gymnastics people are doing, and I'm not saying Biden's even guilty. I say innocent until proven guilty, but I want this to be taken serious, and I'm going to keep hammering it home until people take it serious. The more people don't take it serious, the more I'm going to hammer it home, especially since I've been covering it for weeks before the mainstream media even picked it up. There was like a handful of people even talking about it. And if people are so sensitive right now with the little bit of media covering the Tara Reid allegations now, when it's time for the general, Trump already dropped. I'm going to drop that in my next video. Trump already dropped an ad. He dropped an ad about the hypocrisy of the Me Too movement and the Joe Biden movement. And that ad was incredible. It was a gut punch. I'm going to talk about it next video. Like he's already planted the seeds of destroying Joe Biden. It's not even, it's over. But then you have people, I don't know if you saw, but I I also put it in my community tab. I put it in the video. There are people saying that even if I was R'd by Biden, even if he did that to me, I would still vote for him over Trump or Sanders. There are literally people saying crazy stuff like that. The riding with Biden movement. So I don't know. I honestly, and I've always said Biden can't beat Donald Trump. I don't think he can, to be honest. But that never Trump movement will blindly do whatever it takes. Like they're nuts. They're nuts. If you really see some of the stuff they're putting out there, they're nuts.
And that's what's crazy about the whole thing, right? Because you got those people, the never Trumpers, who are just like just got this Trump derangement syndrome. But then you've got like hardcore MAGA on the other side who are just like, Trump is God. He's the next white baby Jesus, and I'm just sitting here. I'm like, what in the crap is going on? Because then you got these people are way over here. And then all the rest of us, which is actually the biggest majority of people, we're all sitting in here in the middle and going, what in the fuck are y'all even like? It's crazy. Like,
Crazy.
Can we like just agree that there's good and bad on both sides and like, let's try to figure this shit out? The problem that y'all are having is y'all are so focused over here on these things, on these shiny little bubbles, that you can't fucking see that shit's going to hell right here in the middle. And we really, really, really need to fix this stuff. And if we don't fix this stuff, society is going to collapse in front of you. But it's okay, because guess what? All those rich people, they have bunkers. They have places where they can go and they can get away from everything. They have they have miles and miles and miles of underground U.S. military bases, dude. These people are going to be fine. Guess what? The rest of us who are up here experiencing it, maybe not so much. We got to do something, man.
They're definitely willing to sacrifice us. Definitely, and they lie to us all the time. The Afghanistan, the war that everybody voted on. That was based on a lie. Literally was a huge giant lie. So they're willing to lie to us. Those people, those soldiers that went and sacrificed their lives for a lie, that means they're willing to sacrifice everybody. They really don't care about us. They really don't. They care about their bottom dollar. They care about getting that money, and everybody else can be damned. And I think Jesse Ventura was saying something like in the public, they look like they're battling each other, but behind closed doors, they're dapping each other up, and they're cool. They're cool as ice.
I know, like, you come from like the Democratic side. I guess you've been a lifelong Democrat. Is that so, or what?
More along the lines of an independent, but I do agree with the Dems more than I do with the Republicans.
And see, that's kind of exactly where I'm at too. It's like I'm more of an independent, more libertarian minded as far as like my belief system and stuff. But I find that I agree more with the conservatives than I do with the Democrat. But then this is what's so great, right? Because Andrew Yang's policies, they were so brilliant because, the Republicans, and we may have talked about this before, but the Republicans want to talk about, how wrong abortion is, right? They can't. No, abortion is wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. Well, if you eliminate the number one reason that young mothers have abortions, which is the financial reason, then you do accomplish that same goal. And I don't think that there's enough people in politics who there ain't enough salesmen in politics, basically. and what I mean by that is you've got a bunch of snake oil salesmen up there right now who want to tell you everything's good while they're reaching in your pocket and grabbing money out, but there ain't no salesman up there. And when I run here in Vermont next year, I start my campaign, and I'm running against Welsh. I'm running as a Republican, as a conservative, because I believe that I know how to talk to the conservative side about the issue, because we're all really fighting for the same things. Okay. You want to eliminate abortions or help bring the number of abortions down? Eliminate the number one reason. Andrew Yang was all about solutions, and that's what was so beautiful about his platform. And now, since he's ran and he's suspended, you've seen so many people who are adopting that platform. And I'm seeing it on the Republican and the Democrat side of people who are running against incumbents, who are running on both sides on some type of universal basic income.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
He smashed the Overton window. He smashed it. From now on, if you're running and you're not somebody who's talking about UBI in some way, shape, or form, you're probably not going to be taken that serious. Same thing with healthcare, how the Overton window was switched with healthcare. And I'm not saying it has to be Medicare for all per se, but if you don't have a more progressive look on healthcare, they're probably not going to take you serious as well. The Overton windows have been decimated. Yang's never not in an interview. Every day he's got an interview, Bloomberg News, whoever, asking him like, man, you were right. I even did a video called should Yang say I told you so? Obviously he wouldn't do that, but yeah, you got to be talking about UBI regardless if you're red or blue at this point. Got to.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. And it's, if I'm gonna have it as my platform, obviously. And I think, I don't know, explain to us dumb country people what the Overton window is.
What do you mean? Where, like, how the
you said
general how the general people, the general public looks at it at that specific time. Like, this is everyone's view on this subject. Andrew Yang took that view on the subject and shifted it to the left. And so now people used to view UBI, and the numbers will show it. They used to view UBI as, something not so popular, not in favor. Now, if you look at it, everybody's in favor of UBI. So he took what the general consensus was and completely changed it. And he did that almost single-handedly. Like Serpent just said, it's the window. It's the Overton window is the political normal acceptance. So like I was saying, people viewed it one way and now they view it a different way. And he did it damn near single-handedly. Damn near.
Yeah, I just wanted you to define the Overton window, because I know that there may be people out there who don't know exactly what that is. And it's so important to, just the sheer shift of, I don't know, man. It went from like 0 to 60, right? When we first started the Yang Gang and we first started covering Andrew, it went from 0 to 60. And now it's almost like, since this pandemic hit, dude, it's like the writing is on the wall. You have to do something. You have to do something, because we can't keep going like we're going.
No, yeah. If we keep going how we're going, we're going to hit a brick wall. But one of the issues is the people that are in power are willing to drive us into that brick wall. Like I was saying before, we're going on our fifth bill, or the fifth time they're going to come to the table to do a stimulus package, to do whatever. And we've only gotten money once. So the people in charge really don't give a fuck about what happens to us. They're willing to drive us into that brick wall. So my question is, how do we, what do we got? Scott Stanton's, sending well-articulated letters to these people saying, hey, this is why we need UBI. Please do this. And they're ignoring it. The broke folk, we got to get together and force them to change it. And we got to get together and force them to listen to us.
Yeah, but that's just it, man. Because like, even now, you have like Fox News is blasting out how the Democrats want another handout. They want universal basic income now, when really everybody just wants to get back out there and get back to work. And that's the narrative that they're pushing out, you know. So and then you got these other dumbass motherfuckers who are out trying to storm the Capitol building with guns, and then you got these other dumbass motherfuckers who are out there protesting and spreading their own coronavirus amongst each other. And it's just like, man, like, how much more of the stupidity can we take? Maybe we should just let natural selection go ahead and weed everybody out who needs to be weeded out, because this shit has gotten crazy.
That's what I said. There's no way if one person in that crowd, one person in those groups that stormed the building had coronavirus, then now a multitude of people have coronavirus. And so now you have these idiots that stormed with armed weapons, and protesting's fine, but I call them idiots because they weren't trying to protect themselves at all. So you have these people that now probably have coronavirus that are going to eventually go to the hospitals. Hold on one moment. I hear my dog.
So he heard his dog and he had to run. I don't know what that means. Usually when I hear, when I have big dogs, if I heard one of them barking, usually there was something up. So we'll just try to hold it down until he gets back.
Man, she was getting in the shit. All right.
There we go. Man, that was the fastest smoke break you ever took, man.
No, that was my dog. So these people now are going to have coronavirus and they're going to go to the hospitals, and you're going to burden these workers, these frontline workers, because you were too ignorant to even do something as simple as protect yourselves. You didn't wear gloves. You didn't do anything. And it wasn't just those protesters. It was people over here doing the same thing. We had like a hot day, and so everybody went to the park, and they were cooking and barbecuing in the park. The parks were filled. I put up pictures of it. The parks were filled to the brim of people, just no masks, no gloves. And then over here in Connecticut, it's still rising. Like it's spiking. It's still going up. So let natural select. I know it's not to humanity first, but let natural selection happen. Let it happen.
I see all them people out there barbecuing. I want to get invited. I want a cheeseburger, man. Let me get in on that.
Yeah, man. Like, oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. One of the leaders of those protests was diagnosed a week later. See? Psh. And now we have to take care of that person's dumbass. We got to take care of, like, seriously, your protest, like, seriously. I wish there was a way. And I know I'm going to say, I know it's not humanity first to me, but I wish there was a way you could just be like, wait, you were at the protest. Now I'm good. Be on your way. Be on your way. But they obviously they're not going to turn anybody around. Crazy.
But that's just it. That's what I was trying to say a while ago. It's like, how do you unify the broke folk in one voice? Because, you know, all I see is this big fractured mess, and like, I don't know. It's like, I can only do what I can do. You know what I'm saying? If the people on this channel who find value here don't want to share it out and don't want to get more eyeballs on it, like, how do you get, you know, you see what I'm saying though? I'm trying to, like, how do you get to that point?
I mean, YouTube used to be a great platform for that. Like I said in either the last video or the video before it, you'd be at like 25, 30K right now as far as subscribers go. I'd probably be at 10,000, 12,000 subscribers right now if YouTube wasn't forcibly putting their foot on our throat. They've come out and said it. They're deprioritizing channels like yours and mine, and they're prioritizing authoritative media. And so we're not being recommended. It used to be back in the day, you know, your channel, your videos would have been recommended to a high amount of people. Now they're not playing fair like that. Now they're recommending CNN, MSNBC, etc. So it's the channel growth is stunted because your message before would have gotten to a lot more people, and you have a lot of passion. You have a ton of passion. So I know you could have swayed a lot more people. A lot. You swayed me. I covered a video, Yang Flips Republican. That was still one of my best videos to this day. And you swayed me. So you're doing everything you can do. I'm doing what I can do. As far as getting the broke vote in one, in one voice, it's tough. It's tough. I don't
And
know.
I kind of think that, that's where Andrew was the unifier,
Exactly.
because the broke folk was getting behind that, because if there's one group of people that could use that $1,000 a month freedom dividend, it's the motherfucking broke folk. And he was that face, the face of the franchise, if you will, and that's why him dropping out was so frustrating. And now I understand that he's been promised, maybe a cabinet position in the Biden administration. But the fact of the matter is, Biden's not going to make it, And, you said it, you hit the nail on the head, dude. We grew so much, right? When until YouTube changed what they did, those guidelines. Mm-hmm. And it's like our viewership just like bottomed. I mean, It's because we were getting, at least 5,000 views on every video. And, we got one video that had over 100,000 views. And, it's crazy because now it's like we're not growing anymore because YouTube has put these new guidelines in. And it's like you're reaching fewer and fewer and fewer people. Yep. And that's why I kind of came to you the other day and I was, why don't we switch to Sue whenever it comes out? Mm-hmm. Because they're going to pay 50% of all ad revenue straight to the content creator. And number one, that's huge. Mm-hmm. There won't be censorship like there is over here on YouTube. There won't be none of that. And, if we can start creating exclusive content that we put over there and then just eventually transition over there, and all of our fans follow us over there, and all the people who tune into our channels, now all of a sudden we're actually making, a decent living being content creators instead of just, making peanuts that fucking YouTube wants to give us.
Like Serpent is saying, like, they're not even getting your notifications. I covered it in a video, and people, like Serpent is saying, aren't even getting notifications, or they're getting them days late. People are hitting me up like, dude, I didn't even know you dropped a video. I thought you were slacking. You've dropped 5 videos since the last one. I'm like, yeah. But they're like, I never got a notification about it. So like people aren't even getting notified, and then we're not getting recommended. They've essentially tried to stunt our growth. So the good thing about Sue is I think places like YouTube need healthy competition. There needs to be healthy competition. Daily Motion was one that was competition to YouTube, but that's not doing anything anymore. So another platform giving competition to YouTube is something I actually look forward to, because we need it, because they've got too much power, way too much power.
Yeah, but then you get into like, okay, so let's say YouTube is like, okay, yeah, we're going to let this little Sue, we're going to see what they do. And if they actually start becoming competition, we'll just buy them out. That's how they solve all their problems. The money solves all their problems.
I was going to say that's definitely a probability. If Sue starts getting, to be a decent size, and they have decent creators over there, YouTube will buy Sue. I can see that happening, and Sue will sell for sure. I can absolutely see that happening. It happened with Instagram.
They'd be crazy not to.
They'd be crazy not to. Yeah, Facebook did it with Instagram. Instagram was, used to be Dolo. Facebook's like, yeah, let me get that right there. Bought them out quick. And Google's with YouTube.
Crazy times we live in, Ronnie.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about it. All I know is we just keep doing what we do, and we keep making great content, and hopefully all the people who are here on this channel find value. Thank you so much to all the people who have tuned in tonight for a little R&R, some Russell and Ronnie.
I like that.
Thank you so much for our Patreon and donors. If y'all would like to see this as kind of like a weekly thing, I would love to because I kind of feel like me and you vibe really, really well.
I agree.
And I think that we share a lot of the same views, and I feel like we could really do something special with a little R&R. So if you're up for it and y'all want to see it, we'll make it happen, Yang Gang.
Let us know.
For sure.
R&R.
Ronnie, anything you want to say?
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for all the constant support. I love you guys. I do this for you. Like Russell said, peanuts. Most of my stuff gets demonetized, so it's not about any money. It's not about anything about that. It's I support the cause. I appreciate your support, and we got more content coming for you.
Absolutely. We love you, Yang Gang. We're gonna see you on the next one.
Stay safe.
If y'all got a beer, go drink it. No, don't drink beer right now during the coronavirus. It's bad for you.
Oh man.
Clicking buttons, but it's not doing anything. It's crazy, dude. We're gonna have a whole extra 20 seconds of nothing but me trying to end this thing.